service that you provide to other people. A lot of people don't know that they can go through Zoom, give some Zoom webinars, and also stream live to YouTube. And the cost in this case of streaming live to YouTube is free. So in the beginning, if you want extras and things like that, you can worry about it, but it's great for the demo, and it's working fine. Perfect. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able, Isa, to answer any of our students' questions about assignments and things like that. And what is the reason I don't have all the cameras, but otherwise everybody is poised well in the middle of their screen. And if they aren't, you can reach out to them, though people can see it as well. So any comments or questions before I begin? Otherwise, if you have any personal issues that you need to address, of course, you can stay afterwards. You'll have also Isa, who is your TA and grader as well, that she can answer any of your questions. So other than that, what I want to do today is talk about the rest of the semester. Today is April 6th, and if you look at your calendar, we have the 6th and the 8th that we're meeting, and then we have the 13th and the 15th, and then we have the 20th. And in this case, Roxy, what's on the 22nd?
Our second test.
Our second test. So that's gone, really. And then what do we have on the 27th, which is the last day of class? Roxy, is what? Our final presentation for the group. And you have to present your final presentation, just like you're doing in Zoom, right? We'll spotlight the people there talking about your group presentation. I'll give you feedback. So at the time of your final exam, all your materials will be uploaded. That will mean, Roxy, that whatever feedback I give you, and I'm going to be giving you every week, whatever feedback I give you, then you can implement it, and then you can meet with your group and do a formal presentation, Roxy, a longer version, right? As if you were presenting to investors. They're thinking about investing, and you can show them what you have, and you'll be going over. You can do a slideshow for that, and then, of course, you'll go into your website. Then you'll showcase what? Your podcast, you'll showcase your voice agent, show them that they can do it. You can show them, right? And each person in your group will be presenting. You also, on the final, just so you know, on the final, I asked for, in your final exam, an additional slide showcasing what each person in your group did. You will also have peer reviews of that as well. Okay, so we know that that's happening. So we know on the 22nd, we're meeting in person. We know on the 27th online, our last day of class will be your group presentations completed. And you'll know that the final upload will be before your final exam. So in this case, I like it, Roxy, that you don't have to study for another final exam. I want that period project, because guess what? Project you can use after, not even after I'm gone. It sounds like a memorial to myself, but it's the way that after you leave me in the class, but you always can come back. As you can see, like as Isa, she couldn't have enough of me, so she came back as teaching assistant, right, Isa? Sometimes it all works out. Okay, so let me share my screen and we'll see where we're going to go from here. So I share. And then let me just see if I have a screen. And Luke Sebastian, do you see my screen here? What do you see?
Yeah, I see the
YouTube live stream.
Okay, so we know it's working, right? We know it's delayed because if I use my hands, and if my hands are not moving right now, it will be moving in a while. So we have that latency, what we call latency, because we're jumping from the Zoom server to YouTube server. And where is it? It's in the cloud. And what does it mean in the cloud? It's via the internet that we have. We'll also do a review session, just like we did before. I got positive feedback. Lily's idea was to do a Kahoot. So you can give feedback to Isa whether you want us to do a Kahoot again. And Isa can contribute to some of the questions here, but we haven't. So let's go to what we need to do, and let's go to the what's due section. And in the what's due section, let me make sure here that my edit mode is off so I see exactly what you see. So this is my what's due section. My what's due section is today is Monday, April 6th. And in Monday, April 6th, what I see is everybody should have finished the voice AI agent assignment. And Aiden demonstrated that for us. And we have the readings that you needed to do for information systems within the organizations. A lot of times I call it ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. We'll go over that. And these are readings that I would like you to do. One is on voice agents, the future of conversational AI. Explore how voice AI agents revolutionize customer service with human-like real-time conversations, smarter automation. Here is a quick start from VAPI, which stands for Voice API, which basically has a platform to use voice agents. And this is another company has a blog on AI voice agents that also do that. So these three articles I want you to look at, and Catherine, that probably these would be great open-ended questions, right? On what are voice agents, how do they work, right? That we can review that. So we did this open in a new link. And then you can see here everything you need to know on the platform of an AI voice agent is software. It's intelligent. And the whole idea is real-time voice. It's not after the fact that we hear something, right, of a recording, but real time we can hear it, and it can be more natural for conversations. We showed an example that it can be over the phone, it can perform tasks. And what's the beauty here is even people that don't have a smartphone can use that voice agent. And they basically talk about the differences of IVR, which is interactive voice response. That's sometimes when you call, they say press 1 for sales, press 2 for front desk, press 3 for billing, right? Voice bots are a bit up, but the whole idea is these voice agents are part of AI. They're part of what we call natural language processing. The acronym is NLP. And basically, they try to be sounding more intelligent, and they can do a number of different platforms, and you can do that with VAPI as well. You could see there are a number of templates where you can troubleshoot, where you could be, in this case, not even tech support. What is your problem? It trying to help you update your account, schedule appointments, you can see, and you can escalate. In the businesses is the human can still be in the loop. So it can transfer you to a human. And what I like to see is when the human, when it doesn't know the answer, that it's intelligent enough to say, I don't know. Because one of the problems with AI generative AI is they programmed it so much to please people that they didn't like to ever say, I don't know. And a lot of times they would make up things. That's called hallucinations. So in this case, it's human-like. And then they give you some information about why use it. And this is something, in this case, Catherine, that you can see here is how they work of capturing the user's voice, basically recognizing it, converting it to what they call language processing, and then they make a decision. Where do I go? Do I send this person to another agent? Do I send this person to a human? Do I respond to that human? So it's a decision making, yes, no. And then what I like about these agents that are different from something like a Siri that has been is that it continuously learns. So in your case, Aiden, if it didn't know the answer and you came in as, let's say, the CFO, you would then be able to teach the agent the answer. And then you also could convert the text to speech, and then you could generate then a natural response. So this is a flow chart of how AI voice agents work. So this is a nice example for you to look at to understand it and what are the key features. The beauty here is what, Roxy? Do you know 7 languages? Are you fluent? No, either am I. I'm fluent in maybe 2 or 3. But in this case, you don't even have to say, you can start speaking Spanish and you don't even have to say dial 7 in Espanol to get Spanish. It automatically, when you speak Spanish, it automatically responds. Creole, even other languages that you can do it advanced for customer service. And what is nice, even if you speak English back to it, you could ask it to translate back. Fantastic. So you don't have to get just an agent. Oh, we're in Miami and we need somebody Creole and Espanol and French, Italian, smart interruption handling. This, when the user speaks over the agent, right, and gracefully recovers. And this is interesting. We never have looked at this. It can even sense sentiment analysis. What does that mean, sentiment analysis? Whether somebody is what? Angry, whether they're upset, whether they're happy. We kind of naturally know that, right, Roxy? When you hear a good friend, can't you sometimes tell when they're sad or when they're really something really happy? They don't even have to tell you. You could basically what, Roxy, say, hey, I know it with my friends. Something wrong? You know what happened? And they say, oh, nothing. And then you know it's not nothing. Well, in this case, how do you even know that it's almost like inborn to us, right? So in this case, they basically have taught and they're getting better on sentiment analysis. And it is just when I get a customer who's really angry, how to calm them down, or even in healthcare, right? Maintains the memory of the state and user history across interactions. So what's noticed is here, you already see here that we got Portuguese, professional, the speaking speed. Maybe I speak fast, so it'd be great the agent speaks slower. Isn't that amazing? And then when they call back, let's say you want them to fill out a form, you're getting information. They say, I don't have my user ID. I don't have my C number. And then they said, that's all right, Roxy. When you get your C number, call back and we'll continue the process. You don't have to start from the beginning. So you can see here, there's something called CRM, that stands for Customer Relationship Management, that they can integrate with those. ERP, which you needed to know, Enterprise Resource Planning, so they can integrate and it's enterprise ready. What does enterprise mean? In the organization, like our university, like other organizations. And what's nice is many times you want a human in the loop. The agent can't solve the problem. You want to fall back to the live agents and you wanted to make it seamlessly. And then you can do rapid retraining, AI agent, and oversight. And top uses, here are the top uses we talked about already. Bill explanations and some voice AI platforms. What is the voice AI platform that we used, Roxy, that you're familiar with now?
The VAP AI.
Yeah, that's one voice AI platform. So if you had an example, what's a voice AI platform? That's a place where you can get a number or import your number to, that you can figure out what learning language model you should use, what kind of language support you want, and it will. Is this entirely free? For this demo it is, but usually what is it? It's based on the tokens. Basically, you will have to then pay based on the here. And this is just ways in which this is just kind of voice enterprise. Let's talk. That's a little commercial. But that's the part in which I want to talk to you about of what do we mean by voice agents. So these are two of those ones, and then it's the VAPI that we've done before to look at it. Okay, Luke Sebastian, anything else? Any comments?
I think we're all set for now.
Yeah,
Great.
chat's looking good.
All right. Perfect. So now we got that part. So let's go for next week. Next week it's amazing, April 13th. And then after that, it's like following week, it's the exam. So what do we need to do? We got the beginning of our project. Now we got to do, where's the beef, right? We now need to add what's available. So we have this you need to complete. And in this part, everybody has a role. Everybody's going to be doing videos. You're going to have to make assignments for a number of the features here. The social media needs to be updated consistently. And then I have chapter 12, which is business analytics. And the drill, it's the readings, the adaptive assignments, and the quizzes. And then I have two articles here. One is about enterprise resource planning that I've talked to you about for the last chapter. And then we have some more, which is good about AI technologies. So we have both of those. So let's look at what our audit assignment is for next week. I go to my audit assignment, and my goal there is progressing with my website by adding and updating pages, create service offerings. If you have not done it yet, this is when I want you to pick a great domain name, upgrade. I want you to make sure that you have your social media accounts and posting regularly. I want you to implement Notebook LM and create a podcast of your company, right? And record the podcast. And then I want a VAPI AI agent phone number. You can start from scratch, or you can use somebody else's number in there, and chatbot. So let's go back to this one. Let's see what it needs in opening the link in the new tab. So let's see what that is. So basically it's going through. You want, in this case, anytime you use AI, like for pictures, creating, which I think is great, is you want to give credit to the AI and say generated by whatever a generative AI produced that. I want each person in your group to create a tutorial for an AI tool, and I want you to include a demo showing each AI tool you will use for your services. So at least one video per group member. Some group members may want to do more than one, and make sure it's professional. Make sure you rehearse it beforehand, that you're just not laying, right? I don't have to tell you that you're just laying in bed and just mumbling something that you understand, because this is going to be graded. Make sure you introduce yourself. each video should be less than 5 minutes, and you should explain how someone could use the tool, and basically as your service. So I would use something other than ChatGPT, but whatever you use, it would be in terms of what service you can do. You're teaching them how they can use it in their business. Give examples and show a real world application in line with your mission as a company. So you could even show, maybe in this case, how you can create a voice agent and show them all the steps. And if it were for restaurants, right, how you could use a voice agent for your restaurants. And you could even include in there, what are the menu, what is your specialties for food, who's on your team, your restaurant team, the same thing. If someone had not used the tool before watching your video, they should be able to understand how to use it after watching it. Also provide verbal pros and cons in each video, so you look like that you're professional and you're giving them advice. And make sure you upload these videos to your website and check that they work. Again, just uploading it, and as a group, you have to check each other's work, because the entire project is your group, and individually, you need to check other people's work and give them. You want to do a YouTube account, and the same videos you place on your website, you can then put them on your YouTube. And you want to upgrade your domain name that we talked about. And here's a part, this number 4, you have to do after, and note here, after this part, you need to do it after you've upgraded and selected your unique domain name. Then in Wix, you go to site, mobile app, website, and SEO, and it's like a little checklist, a little wizard, and you then click on all the steps you need to checklist, to connect Google Search Console that will find your domain name. It will crawl all your websites, and then when you put your company name in, it will find you. And check to see if you find your site by searching those terms. And sometimes it takes a while to update. So if you don't see it, consider waiting 24 hours, because Google does it in batch mode. Google doesn't have a person that does it, right? Google have what we call bots that automatically do that. You want to create a service offerings pages, having 3 different free services. No one knows you, right? When you think about, Luke, when you're starting your business, no one has heard about you. They don't know you. So you want to offer free services first. Why should I pay you? I don't even know you, right? Why should I do that if I get free, right? If I don't want your services for free, why would I want to pay for it? So once you get that trust, and let's think about it, in all of our social media, in all of our virtual work here, it's trust that's important. So you want to include group training sessions, individual consulting, webinars, online seminars, and then you can create a new page for services, calling it services, and make sure they're free. We're all familiar with Notebook LM, aren't we, Luke? So why don't we use it? Why not waste it? Does everybody know that they can create a podcast with it? No. So go ahead, and we're going to eat what I call, we're going to eat our own dog food. And the way is here is log in to Notebook LM with your non-school account and basically create a podcast using your URLs, using not only the homepage, but every separate page should be added and tweaked so you're satisfied with the podcast. And you can make it a short podcast, but it should talk about your company. Isn't that great? And then you can even allow you with services to say, we can create podcasts for you, for your company, or what else, Luke? Teach you how to create your own podcast, and you can update it and you can join. And in this case, you'll join, download and convert the audio file and convert the file using this conversion and add the podcast to your website. Isn't that neat? So, hey, about it, that this is about a podcast. Not only do we have one, but we can teach you about it. Guess what? We've all done VAPI. So why not do in that resource? This was a resource from one of our past speakers that they created to show you how you can create it and embed it into Wix. So in this case, use your notebook LM that you added. You can upload each page and then you can create it for prompts here. Embed VAPI, right? And under the widgets down below, you can then upload. So copy this, go to the Wix site. You'll add it into the Wix site. And you want to test it out to make sure that this, and then put VAPI's phone number instead of your home phone number, right? I don't want some strangers, Roxy, calling you. Then when they see your website, what do you need? Some creeps calling you? In this case, let them call the VAPI number, right? And then let them, that's even a great idea for the spams or for the creeps calling you, right? Let VAPI answer your phone, right? And then it'll switch you to Roxy. So in this case, you have that, and make sure that's an AI agent, test it to make sure it works. Each member is required to check that the entire website is complete. All features work properly. If there are issues, you should help your group members troubleshoot. So you decide on a group, everybody has to do a video. But you as a group, I'd say even tonight, is to decide already who's going to do all these processes besides just the videos. Who's going to be in charge, and I think some of you have already done, who's in charge of my social media and which accounts, and you need to check each other's work. It is not acceptable for saying, you have your social media, and when you click on it, it's Wix. And then you said, oh, I thought Joe was going to be doing it. Well, Joe didn't do it, so somebody has to do it if Joe didn't do it. Joe will be penalized for not doing it, but somebody has to pick up the slack after Joe, or help Joe figure out what is the problem. So if I go to, let's see, if I go to assignment groups, right, and even in my assignment groups, I'm going to open up this in a new one. This was from last semester. See already, it's that reflect, heal, grow. It already has a moniker here. It has a home, contact services, videos, listen to an overview. And you also describe, you just don't put notebook LM. You have it there, but you want to do beyond that. You want to advertise yourself on that. Listen to the overview of Reflect All, or put whatever you want to do that. And then when you click it, you should be able to hear those guys bantering. And then you have all those. And then when I go to videos, I'm able to see videos, whatever videos there were on those. But even if it were ChatGPT, this is talking about mental health. It will have the ways of talking in mental health. And then there's privacy, they have more, they have home, right? And then if I have it in terms here, I should be able to see then agents, to be able to call the agents. And let me just go back here. And in this case, let's see what this looks like. You can try them out, that you can see what these are some of the ones that see, call our AI assistant, Robert. And it gives the phone number there. We can talk to the agent, our team, our podcast down here, they put here. I would rather have the podcast up above. What is this one? some kind of error. We got to figure that one out. Let's see. Can you do me a favor, Isa? Did you see that last one? That last domain, Isa? What, when I go in their assignment groups? I think it may,
Uh-huh.
I think if you could text Lily and let her know that this last one does not work properly, and if she can change the link,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
So the same thing, my group 0 should check, right? Everything that's working. And then this was the smart tutor. Let's see what this looks like. Right. And then there's the worldwide empowering tutors, get started in the home. And you can see not all of them are, see the podcast. I like the podcasts up above myself, but you can see in terms of the videos and services, what services they have are free options, empowering. Some are better than others, but you got the idea. Questions? So what do you think, Luke, Sebastian?
I think that looks like a good assignment.
We finish it. Basically, that is it. And of course, we're going to have to, when we do when we do it for next week, right, Luke? Will it be perfect? No, right? But you know that once somebody even does a video, Luke, in your group, you'll look at their group and say, you know what? I would cut it shorter or redo it so you explain better the first concept, right? Or I checked the VAPI number and it's not working appropriately. Or the LM, the notebook LM, it only captured the first page. We should put the URLs for every page. You understand? But it's your responsibility, everyone's responsibility to take pride in it and say, hey, this is our best project we can do. So we have time to make additions. Nothing's ever going to be 100%, right? But it'll be close enough that people can get the idea, hey, these guys know what they're doing, right? So Maria, the beauty here is you can actually say, hey, I could hire these guys. Hey, and these services of the podcast, even in the VAPI, could be services you could give. Did you know, Maria, the podcast, you didn't know the podcast before this class, did you?
Sorry?
The podcast. Did you do the Notebook LM when you did a podcast?
No. Yeah, I didn't know.
Now you know it, right? So why not teach others? Why not give that as a service? The same thing even of YouTube Live streaming. So a lot of the services I would be doing the things that we learned already, but package it in a great way. Hunter, you see that? You could package it in a way, hey, wow, I didn't know these guys are going to create a podcast for me. And they sound really good. Those guys, when you first hear them bantering, they sound pretty good. We can make a podcast for you. We can make it, or we can teach you how to do it. We're open. Or we can send, Hunter, you can say, we can send an intern to you to help you. Continue to update. Same thing with social media. And your social media, I didn't even check with the social media. All your social media, you should follow each other. Even take other groups, right? And say, hey, if you follow me, I'll follow you. So you have more of an action. You have more of a thing. You should do some cute videos in your social media. Have it to be funny, have it to be viral. Who knows? And then at the end, what can you do then, Brennan, is you have the domain name, right? You have the website, you have all those services. You could even sell the whole business. Tell somebody, hey, you know what? We'll sell for a right price. My team will consider either having us as consultants and helping you in your business, or we can sell the whole kit and caboodle to you. But it's amazing that after, Brennan, after you leave me, What do you have left? Oh, let's say, Brendan, you were a great student, you even got an A+, let's say. But what is that? Besides the pride of that is what can you show somebody? You know, and in this case, your project, wow, they can do it. When I tell a number of, I do a lot with tech and with business. When I tell them what I do with the class, they said, wow, I wish I was in class then. All I remember doing is reading a book and taking exams, or writing a paper that I didn't even want to write about, right? But it's the idea that I can do something that, wow, I didn't even know what a voice agent was. I'm teaching people now in the university, professors, physicians in the medical school, the nursing school. They're coming to me and they say they have no idea how to do this. These are professionals. So if you could say, none of them have even heard of 1-800-CHAT-GPT, not one. Right? But they say, hey, but 1-800-CHAT-GPT is something. But what is better is that we could do like for the University of Miami, right? You want to call, you want to be able to do a GI guy, right? Or radiologist or whatever. They could have it there and start doing the scheduling, start answering the questions, taking a questionnaire. I have to wait 6 months to see a doctor. This way I can take a questionnaire and they can already prescribe, the nurse practitioner can prescribe something for me to take over the counter, or prescribe something I have to pick up at CVS. They're excited about it. And guess what? They're paying people to do that. So at least you have an in there. So that the whole idea with AI, I've always told you with my vision of looking at it, is that AI needs to have humans to decide what are we going to automate, right? That's not going to appear in some company. They're exaggerating when we're saying we're not going to have any more jobs, but I'm going to have jobs that work with AI. That when the AI gets stuck, there's going to be a human there, that you'll design it, that a human can still answer it, that the human can still see when it's going awry. It's the same thing. I don't want AI can write part of your website, but you have to go in and say, does this really describe what it's supposed to be? First draft of AI is not acceptable. Did you hear that, Alejandro? The first draft, what AI does, it's never good enough. So what do? As you prompt it, you can prompt it many times again to get it a way in which we want to do it. So the enthusiasm here is tremendous, that you have that opportunity to use all the present day tools and to showcase of what you know. And then you get more practice on it. You've done it already, Aiden. You've done it already that first time, but it wasn't quite, you didn't quite know exactly what you were doing, right, Aiden? You're kind of playing around with it, but now you'll get into more depth and get it to be deeper and more exact. And then you'll be testing it each time. And some of these things don't work all the time. I was working with VAPI, and VAPI has something called a composer now, that you don't have to do anything. It's like ChatGPT. It's like vibe coding, that you type what you want and VAPI will do it. They showed me a demonstration of it, the CEO, and what was the problem is when it went to scheduling, it didn't know I was in the East Coast. So when you were trying to schedule with Dr. Rush, Aiden, it was scheduling like in the Pacific, in California time. So it had to go back and figure out, Google Calendar, and we were using Google Calendar. Google Calendar had to figure out having to be able to see what time zone I was in based on my calendar. Little things like that. So what did we need? We needed a human still to be able to diagnose the issues. And then when we don't know what, we document it, and then we find out an answer. And maybe we're not in control of it. And maybe it will be a bug in the system. And that's why they're on that composer say, we're not going to even charge any tokens because we know that we want the users to tell us what's the problems. Because we're trying, everybody, it's going so quickly that it's hard to keep up. Questions? So when I do my share, when I looked at my share, you can see on my audit, I have my Wiley, right? My readings that we had, and you can see in this case, I have my artificial intelligence, right? And you need to know then, for instance, what is the introduction to artificial intelligence? What do we mean by machine learning? What do we mean by deep learning? What are neural networks? What are artificial intelligence applications? And I gave you, if you looked under what's due for next week, you see then, let me just open this in a new tab. I have this article of 5 AI technologies you need to know, from machine learning to agentic AI. So if I think about this, Luke Sebastian, agentic AI is what? Just like we did the voice agent, right? That's the agentic AI. And these then are fueling then that artificial intelligence then is the broadest picture using technologies. And what is it good for? For processing large amounts of data and recognizing patterns in the data. The patterns in the data could be visual. So you could think about even a radiologist that does what? Reads x-rays. And I'm not a radiologist. And when I read it, it's really hard for me to understand. And a radiologist understands it. And what do they do by recognizing patterns is in artificial intelligence then, is they train the software to be able to identify certain patterns for, let's say, lung cancer, breast cancer, brain cancer, and they could have it specifically. And machine learning then automates, is a branch of artificial intelligence that learns from the data, identifies the patterns, and makes decisions. A lot of times in machine learning, you could say it could be great for giving out loans. Who makes a loan, who is likely to repay your loan or not. And while AI is the broad sense of AI, it basically tries to act like a human. Machine learning of AI trains the machine how to learn. And how it learns is I can supervise that. If I think about machine learning, there's ways in which I can do fraud detection. There's certain patterns in fraud detection, like credit cards. When I have credit cards, did anybody ever get a call from a credit card that there was a suspicious transaction? If there was a suspicious transaction, then it was because it doesn't follow how I behaved in my buying patterns. And then they're training it how to learn, and it keeps on training it to improve. And then there's generative AI that's relatively new that ChatGPT came out with. And in that generative AI, it's going to train the human to recognize my speech, identify images, or make predictions. and it's going to recognize patterns. That's the third one. And the fourth one we've seen already when we dealt with agentic AI, and that's called natural language processing. It's another branch of artificial intelligence that helps the computer what? Understand that human language, interpret that human language, and it's a way for natural language processing, just like the word says, the language I'm going to process and make it possible for the computers to read text, hear speech, and interpret it. It's amazing, really. And this is what I said before, measure sentiment, angry, sad, happy, and determine which parts are important in the speech. And in each of these, you can go into more depth. And here we talked about AI agents. And AI agents in one part can be computer vision. You know, you can take your phone and take a picture of some, let's say you had something on your skin and ask it, you know, what do you see here? So trains the computer to interpret and understand the visual world. It really is good when you think about it in healthcare for dermatology. Use digital images from cameras and videos to identify and classify objects and then react. From recognizing faces, who's that, right? Processing live action to improve for sports, right? And it can surpass, a lot of times, see things that we humans even overlook. And this is AI agents. These are the areas in which you can think about it of the AI agents. And then they're also going to be among those that we learned today and we've done in the past week is voice AI agents. So in terms of the voice, we can then basically have a conversation rather than just texting and waiting for the response. It can be a fluid conversation, and it could then mimic what? Even a therapist, right? So you could have it then in a therapy that help me do some exercising, breathing exercises. I'm really stressed. Help me in terms of calming down. Help me. This is my problem I have with a friend. How do I resolve it? What are better ways to resolve it? Should I get involved? Should I not? What do you think? Versus helping me in terms of these are the symptoms I have. What do you think I should do about those? And can you connect me to my voice AI agent? Can you connect me with someone to get the correct prescription? So these are the ones in which I show you what I have. And the other one, what we'll cover on Wednesday is, and we'll have a lecture on, is what is ERP. And ERP, the E stands for an enterprise. What's an enterprise then? Lucas, Sebastian, what's an enterprise?
I mean, when I think of enterprise, I think of like a company, but
Yeah,
like
a large
larger.
company.
Yeah.
And what do we know? What enterprise do we know, me and you know intimately or know well?
The
Are
University
members
of
of?
Miami, maybe.
University of Miami is an enterprise, right? It's not like a mom and pop shop, right? If you did your company of the three of you, you're not an enterprise, right? But an enterprise is a large organization that has many departments in it, right? So in this case, what do you need instead of each department? Think about it like each department in the school. What is it? What's your major, Luke, Sebastian?
Finance.
Finance. There's a finance department, right? There's what? There's a BTE department. There's business law. There's accounting department, right? There's a marketing department. All of those departments are within what school? The business school, right? And then you have the business school, you have arts and sciences, you have the nursing, you have, in this case, you have the law school, you have the medical school, all of those. Then how do you, and the University of Miami has to take care of all the budget. You're in finance, right? Look at that's amazing to be able to do that. So you need some kind of planning software system that doesn't even think about an individual department, but includes, guess what? It sounds like finance. HR stands for what, Luke? You know?
Human
What's HR?
resources.
Human resources, manufacturing, we don't manufacture any, supply chain, sales, procurement, and guess what? They have ERPs based on industries. So they have ERPs based on it with a unified view. What does a unified view mean? It means that we as a university want to see it, the whole picture, and provides a single source of truth. Why do I want that, Luke? I want that because I want to know what departments I should promote, what departments are not doing as well. Maybe there's a problem there with who's running it, or maybe problem that's not demand. Did you hear now we're going to get an AI in the School of Business? Luke, did you hear there's going to be an AI major now? I don't know how well it's
I did hear that, yeah.
Yeah. So how did they come up with that idea? They came up with that idea. Well, maybe all this AI business where the students are going to say, hey, I need a job that says I need AI. Is that a solution? I don't know. By the way, if anybody would take an AI major, Luke, I would recommend that they take another major as well in it. You know what I mean? To get some in-depth, like AI major and finance or something else. But that's my interpretation. But you see here, that's going to be then that single truth here that we're going to be doing to do that. So what is this? That's what the ERP is. And guess what the trend is? The trend is going via the cloud, meaning people don't want to house it themselves. They want to be on the cloud. And if you think about it, here's an idea of the history and evolution of ERP. And if you looked at any of the history, guess where it started? In finance and accounting. And then it went to standalone, and then they added sales and inventory material, and then they basically did some more for manufacturing, and then they added human resources, and then they added basically analytics to there, and then they added adoption of the cloud. And guess what the last one is, Luke? You're not surprised. What is that last one?
Adoption of AI.
Yeah. Doesn't that make sense? So now they're saying, with all that, let's incorporate AI that I don't have to fill out all those forms as a member of the university and as you as a student, right? Think about, look at what they're adding to it. It's almost like we know Gen AI, LLMs, large language models, AI agents. When you have some problems, why not call the voice agent and ask, when is Dr. Rush's exam? Right? It'd be good to have, I should get a voice AI, and when is the second exam and when is my finals due? Roxy, what do you have to do? Just call it, right? And we would just step in, put the course syllabus into the voice agent, right? Automated workflows, real-time insights, predictive modeling. Are we going to get less students or more students? How well is that AI major going to do? Is that going to, now I just heard from the university, they wanted from me, they wanted to have, we have an AI minor. Now they want for the entire university to have an AI minor. Why? Because they think every student should have some AI literacy. So then they think about it. So you can see the same thing on this ERP. The whole idea is, how do I get to it? And then when I think about it, there's one company called Workday.com. If someone comes out, we'll see. Look at this. Workday is a product that's an ERP system. And notice Sana from Workday is the super intelligence that automates work across what? HR, finance, IT, and beyond. Through the power of AI, it's a new Workday. And look how all these commercials are. Everything they stuff in what does each slide stuff in the acronym? AI. You can't find the one, right? And they say build an agile front workforce, explore the impact of AI with powering researchers, join the wait list. They even have a Sana AI summit. Can you imagine? And then if I look at it, look at industries. So the ERP, in this case, if I look at any of the ERPs, let's look at all industries. Look, why should I get if I am in banking, I have an ERP for banking. If I'm in communication, look at this. If I'm in higher ed, the university has bought this software. What's in common of all university is what? Students. Accelerate innovation and drive student success. What do they actually want to do? Is they want their students to succeed, not only for their reputation, but they'll stay in school, right, Roxy? If you fail the first semester, I don't have any more revenue from you. I'm being facetious, right? So I want you to succeed, not only for the reputation of school, not only for the goodness of my heart, Roxy, do I want you to succeed, but they basically transform your institution with the trusted, see, trust is big, with the ERP for higher education and student solutions. So this is ERP for higher ed. So Luke, Sebastian, did you get more of a feel of what ERP is then?
Yeah, I did.
It's basically for the entire organization, and you're in finance helping me figure out what's happening in my organization. And it's so big that it's hard for me to keep up. If I had just one little mom and pop little pizza place, right, I wouldn't need all an ERP, because as the owner, I kind of got a feel for what's happening, how many pizzas I'm selling, right? Maybe I need a spreadsheet, but I don't need an entire ERP. If I'm the university, and let's say you were the chief finance officer, Luke, in the university, it'd be hard for you to figure out what's happening in all these schools, what's happening even in the levels of what's happening with these students, right? It'd be difficult for even payroll, even, right? It'd be difficult for you to take care of all your employees, their salaries, how they doing. You want to basically do what with your employees? You want to also teach your employees, right? You want to teach your employees about AI. You want to teach your employees about cybersecurity, right? How to stay safe. So you can do it under the umbrella of what they call ERP. Questions, comments? Isa, any comments that you wanted to tell people in terms of their homework, and how are they doing in terms, Isa, in terms of their voice AI agents? How many people did not turn it in as of yet? Raise your hand, because we know if you did or you didn't. How many people didn't turn in their voice AI, their VAPI assignment?
I actually haven't gotten any issues with that.
Perfect.
So they're
Great.
good.
Good. And then the URLs, do you have all the URLs from everybody, from each group? Have they published their URLs?
Yes. And yeah, everything's
Perfect.
looking good.
Great. So we're fantastic. No problems. So Isa, can you be so kind and help us with the attendance?
Of course.
Thank you. And stay with me after she gives out the attendance code. Stay with me if I can answer any questions. Okay.
12:54.
Okay, perfect. And Luke, Sebastian, thanks for helping out.
Thank you.
I have a quick question, Dr. Rush.
Yeah.
The final exam is on chapter 14, 10, and which other chapters?
I'll go over it, but every new chapter that we did, so it's TG3 and 4. No, TG3 and 14
Okay.
and 10 and 12.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And what we'll probably do is I'll give you a review sheet, but what we'll probably do also is do 4 and 5, from last time, security and database management system. I think there's important chapters to know.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Take
Keep
care.
up the good attitude.
Yes, ma'am. Bye.
I also have a question, but it's on our
Sure.
next assignment due Monday.
Pardon?
I have a question about our next assignment due on Monday.
Okay.
So I see that for the VAPI AI like phone number, it's for only one group member. But do we all do a Notebook LM podcast, and then we all do?
No, there'll be one podcast, Notebook LM podcast.
Okay.
But everybody will do at least one video.
Okay, but the videos are on the AI tools that we chose in the beginning, right? That we like.
Or other ones,
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't have to be, because a lot of times you chose and you say, oh, we got some better ones. I
Okay.
just wanted you to start thinking it. So that's a good thing. And Roxy, do me a favor on a Wednesday. Let's emphasize that of
Okay.
what should be assigned. Really, what it should be is today. Maybe that'll be good to do for Wednesdays. Make sure that in each group, everyone knows who has the assignment.
Okay.
I don't know, Issa, if you think maybe if people could put a note there or something, I don't know, it'd be good, just like how we say owner, maybe beside each name. I don't know. What do you think, Roxy? You know how we have owner for who started the website?
Yeah.
Maybe be after each person, maybe say, hey, I'm in charge of the podcast
Okay.
and the VAPI. What do you
But
think about that?
the podcast and the VAPI don't count towards like the tutorial videos, right? Those are just separate things.
They're separate unless you wanted to show that as a tutorial, as a service. I could see
Okay.
that being a tutorial.
Okay.
You understand? So everybody's going to have their own podcast for their own company. Everybody's going to have their own VAPI for your own company. But
Okay.
you
Just
could,
one.
Roxy, say, that VAPI is so great. You could give a tutorial on it and say, I can show you how to do it. Plus, our company can do it for you. And I'll show you how to create a voice agent.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I think that don't you think we need to clarify that?
Yeah, I can
On
ask on
Wednesday.
Wednesday again. Okay.
Yeah, ask them Wednesday and think about whether you think it'd be good to put next to their names what they're,
Okay.
And then there could be social media, and you may even break up social media and say, oh, I'll take care of TikTok and LinkedIn, and you take care of YouTube and something else.
Okay.
But however you're setting
We're
that
still
up.
recording, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
It's an excellent question. Everyone should know about that. So I think
Yeah.
I appreciate, Issa, that you tell me that we're asking questions, but I think what you asked, I'm glad that we recorded it. So
Yeah.
be so kind, Roxy, in the very beginning, remind me, and then think about it, Roxy, of that may be a good way to put it even on our audit area. So
Okay.
we know everybody is doing it. Think about it, of what
Well,
you think,
thank
what
you.
are the pros and the cons of that.
Mm-hmm.